Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Strength Super Mira unit, and we're going to be seeing just how good he is in DBZ Dokkan Battle at 55%. So this is Super Mira, Mastery of Dark Power, and yeah, he's one of the Dragon Ball Heroes units. From a while back, I think he got his release in 2020. And he's a pretty interesting unit. He leads the strength category 100% and key +3, and he raises or greatly raises his defense on his super attack, which is actually pretty good. Very similar to Gohan, that's raising your defense by upwards of 50%, which is really big. Passive skill wise, he has attack of 100%, defense of 50%, and disables enemy's guard. He also debuffs the attacked enemy with attack and defense of -20%, and you will have an additional attack of 50% and a high chance of performing a critical hit when the attacked enemy is in attack down status. He has Android Assault, Demonic Power, Berserker, Tough as Nails, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, and Shattering the Limit as his link skills, and he's on the Resurrected Warriors, Demonic Power or Androids, Time Travelers, Artificial Life Forms, Dragon Ball Heroes, Revenge, and Crossover Teams. We're going to be trying him out under a 200% lead in the form of the Dragon Ball Heroes crossover team. And yeah, we're just going to see just how good he is. So I think, personally speaking, with this guy, he could be pretty decent. Depends how many dupes you're going to have in him. Because the more dupes you have, the faster he's going to stack that defense, and it's going to make a considerable difference to how good he is as a unit. Yeah, I think that's very crucial to him as a unit. He also pairs up really well with this Mira over here, who's a really strong unit when he transforms. Not the best unit in the world beforehand. He does stack attack and defense, but his real, kind of like buff is that he's a pretty strong unit after he transforms. Now, Super Mira is pretty reliable in two senses. One, he's good at debuffing the enemy, which is nice. He disables enemy's guard, which means all units will hit type neutral damage afterwards, even if they have type disadvantage. And he also has the ability to crit if the enemy is in attack down, which means he's a pretty nice option for a certain SPR and ESPR, but kind of goes against his design, whereby he is kind of built to greatly raise defense, but he won't really be in events long enough to kind of build that up, especially if you're in SPR and ESPR. With that being said, he does have really strong defensive links, and if you link level this guy, maybe got 2 dupes in him, I could definitely see him being a very solid option. He gains 2,600 defense from being at a rainbow level, which is almost an extra 50% on top, so he'd be starting at like 100k, and he greatly raises. So if you give him additionals and he fires off additionals every turn, that defense can very quickly stack. The big thing with him is also his defensive links. So Mira has some very strong defensive links. He's got Android Assault, which can give you 2 key and 20% defense at max level. Demonic Power gives you another 10% defense. Tough as Nails gives you another 5% defense and 5% damage reduction. So if you add all of those links up, plus Shattering the Limit, then Mira actually ends up having a pretty insane defensive link set. Altogether, it totals up to something like 50% defense alongside also, or 55% defense alongside 5% damage reduction, which is pretty high. Attack stat wise, you're not gonna ever see anything too crazy from him. I think this 1.3 is about as high as he gets. You could front load, double up on support, get the attack down status, and you'd see something pretty decent, but you're never going to see like 8 or 9 millions or anything like that out of this guy. He's not that way inclined, but he's still a pretty interesting option. I think look forward to him potentially getting an easy A at some point. Him and the other Mira getting an easy A would be pretty fun. I think they'd really help out and suit the meta. They'd be great units to have, like in terms of Heroes team building, or just to help out the Heroes team, because They're both stacking units, which is huge, and I think that's something that, you know, the heroes units don't have. They don't have like these big defensive units that can build up huge raw defense. They've got a lot of great second slot and third slot units. So Mira has the potential to be there. Here we can see really good though. All his links kind of active, or his major defensive links active, barring... no, I think that's every single major defensive link active, which is great. Defense is super high now at this point. That stacking is really kind of paying off. It's the offense where you're not going to see something crazy. Like here, we're not seeing anything too wild. 1.1 million is okay. It's not like the world's craziest attack stat. It's really not that impressive, but that defense is really starting to ramp up, and Mira would be looking even better and better with each turn that passes. It doesn't take him too long, considering this is a 55% Mira. It's not taking him that long to get going, but definitely I think, you know, with dupes he'll look a lot better. If you link level and put dupes in this guy, you could still see a very strong defensive unit. That's good for long form content. He will be fine for stuff like Fighting Legend Goku, Fighting Legend Goku GT, the Fighting Vegeta event. All of those events he'll be fine for, especially if you have a dupe in him. I think it's just stuff like Red Zone where he maybe struggles a little bit, just because that starting defense is so very low. With him being max link leveled, if you give him defensive equips, if you have dupes in him, I think maybe then you start to see the potential of using him in red zone, but you have to put in a lot of work. You're going to need 2 dupes, you're going to need defensive equips, you're going to need full additional build, and you're probably going to need max link levels. And then I will say you have a good unit, and you're still going to need a good pairing partner for him. It's not going to be enough just to have him. You're going to need someone that pairs with him well, like this Mira. And speaking of links, the ones I would say you want to focus on is Android Assault and Tough as Nails. They're both his strongest defensive links, and they're the most common for him. Fear and Faith is a key link, and Sharing the Limit is a key link, and both of those are relatively easily available across the board for him as a unit. Demonic Power is a bit more selective a link, but it is still a very powerful link, and if you can get it, I do suggest so. And it's not too hard to get on the Dragon Ball Heroes team. There's definitely a couple options on there that have Demonic Power. Berserker is a bit of an off link for him. I don't think it works for him that well as a link, to be honest with you, and it's not really something that I would suggest you go focusing on. Berserker is, for the most part, not a horrendously easy link to get with this guy, just because Broly as a unit, generally is one of the few units that has Berserker, and with this guy it's not going to be something he gets easily. Now there is Hachiak that could become a decent option for this guy on crossover teams. They share a couple links as well. I think they also have Tough as Nails, Berserker, and Shattering the Limit, but I wouldn't suggest it realistically. But beyond that, that is pretty much it. Honestly speaking, I don't think there's too much else to kind of state or to carry through. I think if you look at him as a unit, I think he's good. I just think there is a little bit of at least concern about the speed at which he starts out at least for like the super hard content. But he's a really fun unit. If you've got dupes in him, he can be a lot of fun. And I think his potential future EZA could make him a real beast. I think he's cool, and I like him. I think he's really great. I'm actually going to put the effort into him. I'm going to link level him. I'm going to be placing equipment on him. I'm going to be opening up his potential system. I really want to see how far this guy can be pushed. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.